Hey guys, Set here and a fun one for you today. Recently in ranked, me and two other guys, we got a win streak of 10, and in that win streak we had some pretty impressive victories. Normally when you go on a win streak, you know, it's you're just smashing people over and over again. But in this instance, on the ranked win streak, we faced some very good players for some very good end circles. So I thought you guys might want to see that and see my perspective from it. So that's what we're going to do for today. So we're going to roll straight into that without any further ado. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Okay, first game of the 4 to show you. Cracking down on this twice who tries to get away in the air, but we use the gamma to swoop right up and use the beta to drag him down to the ground. And then I think, hang on a minute. Does that tree have red shoes? No. Get out of there, man. What the hell do you think you're doing? Get out of that tree. So we find this this shigaraki who's dressed like the funkiest 6-year-old with those colors. But yeah, really enjoyed that twice takedown. He had no idea that I was capable of doing such a thing to him. It was quite optimistic on my part, but yeah, I truly did believe I could catch him with it, and you know, we did, which was pretty nice. So as you can see, for these games, I'm going to have a winner, 77450 with me, if that is his real number, and Sturdy Septet, and both of these guys are awesome players. So if you ever team up with them yourself, I'm sure you're going to be very well taken care of. And if you ever come up against them, well, good luck to you. You know, I don't like your odds. I really don't. But yeah, these guys are very, very, very cool guys and great players. So, you know, shout out to these guys. These two were the people I got a 10 win streak with. We didn't even lose as well, to be fair to us. Like, that 10 win streak ended because, you know, one of those guys had to go. So we had a really, really nice session when we was powering through ranked on this particular day. And yeah, you know, again, just shout out to those guys. They were really, really cool. And it was my first time playing with both of them, like, together. I played with Septet before and maybe Winner vaguely in the past, but I think this was my first time to my memory playing with them together. So yeah, it was a nice experience getting this 10 win streak through ranked. And yeah, as you're gonna see in like the next game and the game after, you know, it wasn't a streak where you run into nobody. You know, we had to face some very good competition, and there's gonna be stuff for you guys to learn and enjoy in these next videos, including this match as well. So yeah, remember, when you are watching high level play, it's one thing to just enjoy it for what it is, but another thing as well to, you know, see what's happening, because when you play a high level lobby, you have to approach it differently than you would a lobby that you expect to win, you know, or you don't expect to be as difficult as one where you know that killers are hanging out. So yeah, I'll just be talking through some stuff in between. And yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. The biggest thing when it comes to good lobbies is you just know the end circle is going to be a lot more packed out, a lot more chaotic. So positioning, awareness, and timing becomes a huge skill set that you need to know. And it's not really a skill set that, you know, you can look at a video of someone doing an amazing shot, like, wow, that guy has great aim. But when you have good positioning, a lot of times people don't really see it that way. They're like, oh, that was fortunate. It's like, no, you have good positioning or you don't, and you can get lucky at times with it. But again, it's all about putting yourself in the best possible spot to have fortune come your way. Whether that means to keep you protected, to keep you out of the attention of the enemies, or to give you a, you know, a very nice placement to hit somebody from. So you're going to see that throughout this video. And again, this isn't just a video for, hey, this is how you play red deku. This kind of, you know, takes to the game that you're going to see me do, it really does work well with all characters. You know, the more mobile, the better, because it will give you that, you know, ability to get in and out of places quicker and up to places quicker. But, you know, generally speaking, it's kind of advice you want to take wherever you go, whoever you be, and whatever you see. So I couldn't help it there. The rhyme was just waiting for me. Even on that bit there, you know, I could have kept that fight up, but I didn't think it was worth it. When you see, look at the circle size and look how many teams there are right now. There's something called attrition. And what that means is how long can you go for before you meet your end. And there are some things that you can do in a circle like this which might look like a good idea to you, which might feel good for you to do, but it might be something that contributes to your overall, what's the word, lessening of your attrition. So when I watch this, but before I get into that, check out the way we deal with this guy. It's all about keeping the right space on Idas and leading him into things. Just like that. Because an Ida's not always going to be easy to hit. So sometimes you just need to give them that little encouragement, like, hey, come over here. And then you lead them into stuff. What was I saying? Yeah, there are things that will increase or decrease your attrition. And like I said, with that Momo back there, I could have started to continue hitting her. But what the likelihood was going to happen was she's going to start swinging alphas back at me. Then all of a sudden, I probably have barely any shields left. And maybe her friends are tuned into where I'm standing now. And now all of a sudden, I've got, like I just said, lower shields. And now maybe I've taken one of her teammates' hits. So you need to pick your moments wisely, rather than get into something that you probably don't need to get into, if you want to make it deeper into that end circle where there's so much going on. You know, if there's like 3 teams left in a circle that big when that happens with Momo, I might take that fight. But when there's 6 teams, you know, danger at every part that you look, you need to be a bit more safer. Look at that, on the fly. I had one plan in mind, and then something changed, my circumstances changed, and I was able to go, hey, actually, I need a beta there instead. And, you know, it was a good switch. So again, it's all about, you know, your opportunities that you can recognize and take, positioning. Always try to be in the place, like I am right now, where there's the least attention. That way you can get quick heals up. That way you can plan your targets. Who looks like they're ready to be taken out? Who's causing trouble? Who's together? Who isn't? That kind of thing. And you can also see your teammates' you know, positions. What's going on with them? I'm always a big advocate of constant healing. You know, I never like to be not at full if I can help it. So I will always advocate for, you know, small heals in and around fights, because that's just the way I do things. You don't have to agree, you don't have to disagree, but that's just the way I do it. Got a nice revive on my Ida there. I'm sure he was very happy about that. And look, again, whenever I see a place I don't like, I'm immediately out of there. Never linger in a place you don't like. I know it sounds like obvious advice, but people will try to fight their way out of, you know, situations that they probably should not want to be in. And instead of trying to fight your way out of a situation, you should try to just get out of that situation first, if you can. And then you can go from there. Look, again, I'm always in places where people aren't expecting to look. Always trying to hug the circle. Always trying to hide in something around the edge of the circle. You know, places where people don't necessarily want to put their eyes. Now, this is going to be, you know, a part where we have to really hold out here. Because, look, our team is not in a great position. One's down. I've got no shields. Getting lower health by the second. All Might's kind of got his hands full as well. This Mirio looks like he wants to hump my leg. So as you can see, we're just holding out. Us being able to distract and deflect and move around allowed our Ida to get back up. And now he's went somewhere inconspicuous. He's getting us a group heal. One of them's gone down. And before you know it, we've taken the end circle by the scruff of the neck. We was being walked around on the leash. And now that enemy team ended up on our leash. Again, it's just because of positioning, placement, maneuverability. Acknowledging the situation and saying, you know, I think we need a certain approach to this. And that's what we managed to pull off with that game. So that was a really fun one. Very scrappy towards the end. Very scrappy. But a W nonetheless. Alright, second game. And in this one, we've got some tournament champions that we have to worry about. Good friends of mine, so shout out to those guys. You'll know them, if you know them. So as you can already tell by that, beginning, from what I said, it's not going to be a straightforward game. It's going to be a game that's going to test us, a game that's going to, really make us think, really make us move. As all the best matches do. I never like to have an Endeavor in play if I can help it. They're just... I'm telling you, that auto tracking, essentially, on their alpha is just too dangerous to let rock in any situation. Whether they're being, whether they're third partying you, whether you're 3v3ing them, 2v2ing them, 1v1ing them. You just never want to let them have that. That was a really nice beta there. He was like, you want to get close to me? We'll see. And I was like, yeah, I do. And before you know it, look at me, I'm still fucking burning. I'm still burning. There's having a temperature. And then there's that. So yeah, this match is like one of the matches I was talking about when I said, the 10 streak that we got was really nice because, again, wasn't really a 10 streak which consisted of easy games where we just, bombarded through people. It was a 10 streak which consisted with a few of them having been, matches that could have very, very, very easily disrupted the streak. Now, when you're facing a derby, it's always nice to get licks off on him and then get behind something, because then he wants to start throwing that auto tracking thing at you. But you've hit your damage already, and now you're just going to block all of his just by being behind something. So effectively, when you're facing a derby and you have the opportunity to do that, if the terrain around you is right, you're going to be dealing damage to him while he's not going to be dealing damage to you. And if the fight keeps going in that direction, well, you know how it ends, right? If you're not taking that much damage and he keeps taking damage because you're popping in and out of cover, locking shots off on him while he can't get them on you, then, well, you're going to have a nice time. And he's probably going to hate you by the end of it. And if you're not making your opponents hate you, are you doing your job correctly? Are you doing your job correctly? I need some little blues, man. I've noticed the the bug where you do that full circle and then it doesn't give you anything. I noticed it happens way less these days, which is good. But it used to happen a lot and it was so frustrating. I still do have it happen, but thankfully not as much as it used to. Like, the game's still building up. The game's still building up. You just know when you're in one of those games where you're thinking, this is all going to kick off near the end. This is all going to kick off near the end. You can just feel it. You can just feel it. And this was definitely one of those games. Like, people don't even really want to engage. Like, I could have ran over there and, tried to assert myself, but I was thinking, bit risky. That doesn't look like a good play. And it's not even because you don't necessarily want to take the fight to the person you're looking at. It could be because once you engage that fight, there's the opportunity for someone else, someone just as good as your team, or at least around it, to come and get in on your action while you're doing it, and then you're completely blindsided. So it's a whole lot of, again, the war of attrition You gotta think to yourself, what options can I make in this game? What decisions can I take that are gonna make us survive longer and longer into this fight? Because sooner or later there's gonna be a crossroads in a game like this where everyone is like very strong. And what that crossroads does is when everyone interjects or certain people interject upon one another, it comes down to a lot of the time, well, what's your current situation? What's your health looking like right now? What's your shields looking like right now? What's your position looking like right now? And these things, they come together. So when I'm talking about attrition, what I basically mean is be in as good a position for as long as possible so that when you do inevitably cross paths with a team who are just as good as you, if not a bit better, if not a bit worse, but definitely capable of taking you out, you want to be the team that has the better situation going for you. You want to be the team with the more health, the more shields. You want to be the team with the more advantageous position. You want to be the team that sees it coming first. That's what I'm always talking about with attrition. And being in a good position for a battle that is going to take a lot of your resources. Because if you're getting involved too much, too quick, too soon, when you do inevitably meet the other team that is going to give you a hard time, you might not be in a good position to take that fight, and that's going to be your problem, you know? But again, I'm not to say not to ever get into fights. It's the opposite. You should always look to take advantage of whatever you can. But again, it always just comes down to don't do it at every, you know, blink of an eye. Assess the situation first. See what happens. See what you think could happen when you look around. And then that way you can also, if you're under this mindset, you're going to be less open to third parties as well. Again, like stopping third parties is impossible. It's going to happen at some point, but you know, certain behaviors in your game can help to limit that. Like if you see the way I control my camera, I'm always keeping an eye on things. Oh, there's some nice, that was some nice shooting on that Toga. She had no idea what was locking onto her there. Again, she probably thinks I've got a magnet on her. So again, very good lobby. 6 teams still in here, and you know, the circle is relatively small. But again, look at me. Good positioning, good placement. I can see things. I'm not really putting myself in a position to get, you know, sandwiched by one team here and one team there. I'm kind of hanging out around the edges. I'm like, what's going on over here? What's going on over there? Let me have a look over there. Let me have a look over here. And then if someone does want to push me, I can probably see it coming because of my position from where I'm going. I never really like to run in the middle of a zone unless I'm very confident about what's going on and I can see everything around me. The reason why I'm in the middle now is because I know no one's at the middle. And you know how I knew that? Because I was at one edge and I came from the edge to the middle, knowing no one was in the middle, and now I'm at the other edge. You guys must get the point by now. So that's what's so important about how you approach situations in ranked. You know, or at the very least, you know, tough lobbies where people aren't really walking around to get their heads, you know, splattered because they're not paying attention. So obviously, I recognized here Winner was in a bit of a pickle, so I, you know, flicked out the old green and blue potion. Again, you know, basic advice, but always keep an eye on your teammates' health. And look at this again, good positioning makes it hard for people to, makes it hard for this Deku to, you know, get one over me. I've hit him like 4 or 5 times, and he hasn't hit me once. Why? My positioning allowed me to have the advantage over him in that situation. It's not always about, hey, there's a guy over there. Let me jump down over there, even though I can hit him from where I currently am. Why would I jump down over there if I can hit him from here? Look, some Dekus in this exact position would be down there right now. You don't need to be down there unless you feel like you have a really good reason to be down there. Like I said, it's all about positioning, taking opportunities. And now I'm being pushed. Now I start to move around. I'm like, okay, these guys, they start to realize where I am. And like I said, when the advantage starts putting you in better and better, you know, what's the word, percentages to win, because you know these guys around you are going lower and lower, that's when you can start making the ballsier plays. And look at that. I recognized while I was up there, I have a safe point here. People aren't approaching this water slide. When things get dicey, I can just go back up there. I had to go down for that, by the way, because of the positioning of the water slide didn't allow me to shoot over it. But again, look, right back where I need to be. Taking advantage of my positioning. Knowing the matchup. He can't hit me from there. I can hit him from here. And then when I know I've done enough damage and I can chase to get something finished, then I start going down looking for more opportunities. Look at that. And I'm thinking, you know what? I feel like I need a breather again. Let me go back to HQ. Let me go back to headquarters. And that's what I did. Look at that. Nice in-air shot on that All Might. He's probably thinking, who the hell hit me like that? At this point, you guys are probably starting to see why I won a tournament in Season 3 with Bakugo, who didn't have aim assist in that period. You know? You guys are probably starting to see that, you know? I can make these shots. It's just, it's not even about my accuracy, it's more about my positioning allows me to make these shots. Look at that, I'm like, we'll let it be. And he was like, fuck that. And I was like, well, fuck you then. You could have let it go, Endeavor. You could have let it go. We both could have had a nice drink. But no, you decided you was too good for that. And look what it cost you. It cost you everything. All you had to do was turn the other cheek. But you just couldn't let it go. We could have both been smiling, Endeavor. But you just couldn't let it go. You sure you want to do that? And there you have it. Very competitive, very sweaty end circle there during our 10-game winning streak. It was a fun one. Shout out to all of those guys that all played very well. Shout out to Winner and Sturdy Septet. Those guys absolutely played to a great level there. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that match and hopefully you learned something from that match as well. Scoot straight into the next. Let's go. And straight after that game, we had another game against tournament champions. And this time they were not too thrilled with the result of the last one. And who can blame them? It was a very, very close game. But this time around, they switched up to the mains, the mainland choices. The mainland choices had to come out. So already it was looking dangerous. It was like, how dare these guys win? How dare these guys win? So already this was the very next game. Blood was in the water and everyone was going crazy, looking to recoup wherever they felt they had lost in the last game. So already, straight off the bat, you knew that this game was going to get spicy as well. Maybe even spicier because, you know, when you guys understand probably when you lose a game, you want to win that next one. Doesn't matter who's in the lobby, you want to win that next one. And then when you get into that next one and the people who won the last one are in there, you go, okay then, well, we'll see you guys for sure. So that's kind of, you know, just how it turned out in this one. It was very, very, very antsy. So yeah, this was this was one of them ones where, you know, you didn't want to lose the last one, but now you really didn't want to lose this one. And again, a lot of people in here, as you can see, very, very good, very good positioning, good accuracy. Again, very top class set of folks here. So again, another very, very, very worthwhile game to win, especially you know, in a 10 ranked win streak. So you also need to definitely keep track of opponents who are problematic for you. It's absolutely key. I think in a way you probably do not even really win sweaty ranked lobbies unless you are actively aware of who is your most threatening opponent or opponents. Because if you can't if you can't recognize who can take you out in the blink of an eye, when you come across that person, you might underestimate them, and that could lead to you going down, which could then have a knock-on effect to your teammates being outnumbered and then outmatched. So if you don't know who's trouble, then you can underestimate an encounter and get folded. If you don't know who's trouble, you can see them on their last legs, think, I could take that guy out, but not do it because you just think, I'll get him later. When really, that was your best time to get him, and the next time you see him in the game, he is going to snap your neck. But if you knew he was a problematic guy, and he was going to be trouble for your team, and you saw him vulnerable, you wouldn't let that go. And then you might even go on to win the game because you managed to, watch that. Look at that. That was sneaky of me, wasn't it? You know, getting hit, come out of sight, start to heal. That makes the other opponent think, all right, he's gone, I'm good to heal. And even though I haven't got that heal off yet, I jump straight back out. Boom, boom, boom. Got some free shots off. That is what you call mental warfare. That is what you call mental warfare. Like, that's nothing really to do with how quick you can move your joystick or how fast you can press the buttons on the pad. Stuff like that, it's really all about, you know, putting your mind against someone else's. And what happens through the mechanics is just a result of that. Level up. It's quite remarkable, like, you know, 1k damage, 1 KO, 1 assist, 16th left, 8, 9, 8 on the levels, you know, just somehow racking levels up in this intense experience of a match where really, unfortunately, I either couldn't make it, but yeah, intense experience of a match where, you know, doesn't really feel like there's a lot of time to loot. So these guys do not want to let it go. They're like, these guys, they beat us last time, we're not letting them get away this time. And I recognize that. You have to understand, you have to know when it's time to get the hell out. And a lot of people, they don't like understand how much of a useful skill this is and how important it is in you knowing when to get out. And I recognized it was time to get out, and I got out successfully, and it allowed me to get a revive. Just in the nick of time as well. Look at that. They came, because these guys, again, they understand. They see our team, they want our team out. If our team's out, chances of them winning go up astronomically. Because they recognize us. Again, good players recognize threats in the lobby. Who needs to go for us to win? And it doesn't mean that you're going to win once you do that, but your chances, again, are higher. So again, I managed to disengage. I managed to get out of there. Positioning. Spatial awareness. Knowing where the threat is and where the threat isn't. I realized threat's not here. I can do this. No need to overcomplicate it. No need to, you know, make things harder than they have to be. And now, before you know it, we went from having one team member left in the game, which was me, who was being chased, who wasn't in his best shape, to now having all team members back on the board. And again, that was basically through nothing but knowing when it's time to call it a day and get out of there. And, you know, good decision making at the end of the day. This thing, a lot of players, you think that once the battle royale starts, you need to be moving forward at all times. No, it's a battle royale. Sometimes you can walk backwards. Sometimes you can hold yourself in place. And I don't mean literally, but what I mean is the pace of your game doesn't always need to be attack, 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 forward, forward, forward. Sometimes the pace of your game is attack, attack, wait, wait, attack, retreat, wait, attack. You know, it's not just one motion. If you always move in one motion, you're not going to be able to do the twists and turns that you need to stay in the race. So I could be out there like all these guys, but I'm on the inside. Look, I got cover in here. I can see everything. No one can get on my case without me knowing about it unless they go in the zone. Most people don't want to go in the zone, so I know I'm pretty much safe from the back. And I ride this out for as long as I can. Do you know how much damage that probably saved me? Not only did I hit people from there, but do you know how much damage that saved hitting me? If I was out here that whole time, I might be on half shields, half health right now. Maybe not even that, maybe less. But I used my cover for as long as the cover permitted me to use it. A lot of these guys here are probably more technical players than me. They probably act quicker, shoot quicker, But again, it's just about your decisions and how that decision can frame the way your match is going to go. And then these players who might be more technical than me are the ones who are in trouble right now. That's the thing, a lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, but some of you guys, you watch me and you think, this guy don't look like he's doing anything too special. That's what a lot of people think until they face me. And then I get videos of, you know, beating people who they consider to be the best players or some of the top players in the game. But then these same people who say, oh, you're not doing anything special, Set, your gameplay doesn't look anything special, they'll never come back after that and be like, well, fair enough, you beat one of the best players in the game. Fair enough, you beat one of the best squads in the game. No, they never come back for that. Never come back for that. No, it's always, Set's gameplay looks too simple. But simple works. And, you know, it's why, you know, I've been able to do what I've been able to do throughout all seasons. Despite not even playing this game as much as a lot of these guys. Okay, it's not because I think I'm better than them, I don't. But it allows me to play against these guys, win against these guys. And, you know, a lot of people... Say again, I'll say a lot of people, it's not really that many, but, you know, some people who would think that my gameplay just looks basic and like it wouldn't work in, you know, high octane situations, they get proved wrong. You know, it's games like this and many other games on the channel. Again, since Season 1. I've been doing this since Season 1. I've been beating the best since Season 1. And again, I don't play this game that much. I have like 10 times less game time than all of them. And it's not about being better or worse than these guys. It's just about approaching the game right and, you know, giving yourself the best chance you have by making the, you know, the right moves at the right times. And there you have it. Another very good, very well-deserved, worthwhile victory in the 10 ranked win streak. So hopefully you guys learned a lot about that one. Hopefully, you know, you picked some stuff up. How to approach these kinds of matches, how to approach these types of end circles, how to approach games with people in it that, you know, you probably don't think you'd ever be able to beat. Again, it's all about timing, taking opportunities, being at the right place, you know, and then doing the right stuff once you're there. So yeah, hopefully you like that one. And moving on to the final one. I think this game is a little bit less exciting than the other ones. So I saved this one for last. So I, you know, put your guys' time in my interests here when I was setting up the order for these matches. So obviously the first match was, you know, a good one. Second and third match were, you know, against very high level opposition, you know, tournament champions. And then this one is just, yeah, this is just like the last one out of all of them that was probably like worth covering, or at least, you know, that I still had the footage for. But yeah, still, even if you don't care to watch it, just let the video play to the end. You can just, you know, mute this if you want, or you can listen to whatever I decide to talk about. Oh, I can tell you guys something, actually. This was a long time ago, but I still remember it. Again, you know, just quick rundown for those of you who don't know. I work in a train station as part of my job. And, yeah, so I was at the gate line, which is basically where everybody, you know, comes through the gates. And I was standing with a colleague of mine. I don't work with him anymore. He moved on to a different station eventually, but, I was standing next to him at the gate line, and it's probably about 3 AM at this point. And this woman came through, you know, fairly short woman. She came to the gate and she started looking for her card to pass through, but she couldn't find it. And she's just wearing like all black, like kind of like black jogging bottoms, this kind of thing, a black jacket. Like not sporty, but you know, it didn't look smart either. But her nose was painted red. Just her nose was painted red, and she had glitter around her face. And she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. Do you think you could please open the gate and let me through?" Now, obviously, you know, you're not really supposed to let people through without paying, but in your job, it's your discretion. You can let someone through if you desire. Like, not as in like it's a perk, like, oh, you can let anyone through. But, you know, just if you feel like someone's genuine and, you know, they're just having a bad time or a bad day, or for whatever reason you just sympathize with them, you can let them go through, you know, unofficially. And so I looked at her and I just said, "Why, what's the matter?" And she goes, "Oh, I can't find my card. I think I had it earlier, but it's not in my my jacket right now. I probably left it back at work, and you know, it's too far to go back to." So I said, "Okay then." And then my colleague, he asked very bluntly. He said, "Why is your nose red? Are you a clown?" That's what he said. He's quite a blunt guy. I don't know if he meant it like, you know, I don't know what way he meant it, because even though her nose was painted red, I probably wouldn't have asked someone that anyway. But he goes, "Why is your nose red? Are you a clown?" And she went, "Yes, actually, I am." She was a professional clown. Not a joke. She was a professional clown. And I stood there, I laughed. And, you know, I hadn't actually said that she could go through, but I was planning to let her through. And then she goes, "If I do a trick, will you let me through?" And I laughed. And again, I don't like putting people under pressure or taking advantage of people or anything like that. So I just laughed and I said, "No, don't worry about it." And then I put my arm out because I was about to tap my card onto the system to let her go through. My colleague's arm blocked my arm. And he goes, "No." That's how he said it. He went, "No, I want to see a trick." And I just looked at him. I looked at her and I went, "Alright." And I was thinking, come on, man. It's 3 a.m. She's probably tired as hell from, I don't know, doing whatever clown stuff someone has to do throughout the day. And she went, "Alright then." And it wasn't like anything fancy. It wasn't a crazy trick, but she had like this hoop with her and she put the, I don't know exactly how they did it. I can't really explain it to you. I don't know how you explain a clown trick to someone, you know, but essentially, you know, she like, put her whole body through the hoop. It was a tiny hoop and she stepped through it and it went all the way through her body, through her arms, over her head. Again, I don't really know how to explain this trick to you, but all I can tell you is she put her entire body through a relatively tiny hoop, all in one, you know, fluid motion. And, you know, it's quite, what's the word? Impressive. It's quite impressive. And then afterwards, my colleague went, "Yeah, alright, you can go." And then I buzzed her through. And she went through and she said, "Thank you." And it was like, no problem. Totally random story. But, you know, some of you guys have been asking for, like, to know more things about that happens at my work. And again, you know, that's just kind of some of the stuff that can happen every now and then. You know, a clown comes through the station and they can't get through and they offer to do a trick so you can let them through. It sounds like something out. I don't even know what it sounds like something out of. There's nothing. Doesn't even sound like a TV show thing. You know, like, who does that? Who writes that? No one. Traveling clown who uses tricks to get through on public transport without paying. But yeah, that was it. You know, that was the end of the story. It was quite funny. But yeah, legitimately a professional clown. I've been talking, so I haven't actually been looking at the match. So I don't know how good the match was or wasn't, but I think it was a decent match, but not as exciting as the others. There is a certain feeling of resentment attached to being hit by assault shigaraki and even strike shigaraki's decay in continuous nature when you're not looking in their direction. You just think, what the hell is that crap? And then you're just like, damn, I gotta get out of there, man. And if it's strike shigaraki, you probably will get out of there. And if it's assault shigaraki, well, you might have company on the way out because he's gonna be following you. He's on that Michael Myers wavelength, but he can fly. Not that I want him to. Not that I want him to. But if Deku's aimed alpha sights had, you know, as much range as some of the longer alphas, oh, he'd be freaking ridiculous, dude. He'd be actually so stupid. But again, not that I'm asking for that. I'm just making an assessment. I think if I fired one more time, I don't know why I stopped firing, but I think if I fired one more time, I would have actually taken him down from there. Because I felt like I was following his trajectory really well. And whatever was in the way, I think I just would have went straight through it. Last dojin! Got my back up against the wall there. I was like, you'll never take me! Oh my god. That was an execution. They sentenced that man to death via the guillotine. But they said, our guillotine's not working. And I went, hey, no worries. I'm here with Red Deku. Let me just bait it down on top of him. And I had the idea to do a group heal, but turns out we didn't need it in the end. So yeah, there you have it. There's the some of the more interesting and entertaining games of the 10 ranked win streak that I got with Scepter and Winner. So hopefully you guys learned from that. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Yeah, and if you didn't, well, sorry. My bad, I guess. But I'm sure it'll be okay. Thanks for watching. Shout out to all the opponents we had. GG's to everyone. Everyone in these matches was so good. So yeah, you know, shout out to those guys. Shout out to my buddies. They know who they are. Shout out to you guys. And yeah. Like, comment, sub. See you soon.